What's up, drunk Irishman? How you doing, brother? Uh, this is something I'm tired of fucking addressing, but I'm addressing it anyway. Um, what's up, Star Wars Dan? I find it amazing. Madgie did a stream last night saying her opinion on the situation between my daughter, not my ward, my daughter, because we are going through the adoption process. If you do not know American law, you should clearly not make any assumptions. So, my daughter, that's right. Anyway, you can adopt an adult. Star Wars dad is American. He'll tell you. He's right here. John, is it legal for me as a 60-year-old man to adopt Elizabeth while she's an adult? Yes or no? I'll put his answer up there. And if anyone wants to question, just look in, American law, because you're definitely misinformed there. And your opinion is definitely askewed. Now, Madgie, I got nothing against you whatsoever. You're entitled to your opinion. But I am going to say your opinion is somewhat askewed. I don't know, but you seem to think that your trauma is more important than somebody else's trauma. And let me ask you this question. You repeatedly said that she's 18 years old. All right. This is what here you go. Oh, I got to do this over here. Sorry. There you go. You see? Anyway, okay, again, you can check it out for yourself. So, my daughter, not my ward. I ain't fucking Batman. Anyway, what's up, Stormy? How you doing? So, I'm not Batman. So, I don't have a ward. I have a daughter. I have two daughters, actually. So, you're going to tell me the children that I raised aren't my children either, right? I raised another man's seed, but they're my wards. That's what it is. They're my wards. Again, I'm not Batman. But moving on. So you're gonna say that an 18-year-old young adult who is of legal age, number one. I know you're gonna say, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." I watched that whole thing last night. It was the way you put it, and the way you described it, and the way that the chat was being steered. Definitely sounds dark when you steer the chat that way. All right. I'm not steering anything anyway. I'm stating facts. Now, when you got that video off of my channel, okay? You got that video off of my channel. Can you pull videos off of anyone else's channel? No, you can't. I don't hide my stuff. You don't seem to take that into consideration. Again, nothing to hide. I'm an open book because my word is my bond. Anyway. Wait. Let me back this up. What did Irishman say? Speaking of kids, Don't know if you saw it, EJ, on my post, but girl pregnant, baby. Oh, congratulations, my brother. Congratulations. Make sure you raise them so they don't be somebody else's ward. Okay, I shouldn't joke like that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't joke like that. But moving on. So, an 18-year-old, I do understand what you're talking about, that an 18-year-old person, their frontal lobe is not fully developed until about 23. I understand that. Like a man doesn't come to his full man strength until about 23, 24, possibly 25. I understand that. But that doesn't negate their possibilities. An 18-year-old can go into the armed forces in the United States. They can go into the armed forces, sacrifice their lives for our country. But that doesn't matter to you. They're all morons. They're all retarded. So you're saying all those young people that joined the armed forces are retards, dummies, idiots, and some of them are heroes, but they're all retards, dummies, and idiots. You know, that, I found that quite insulting personally. And anyone that's in the armed forces or any young person would find that insulting, to be completely honest. You say that again?
Huh?
Say that again?
So it's pretty ballsy of them to say that when sitting behind the computer.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I don't care. I got no problem with your opinion. That's your opinion. But I have the right for a rebuttal, and this is my rebuttal. And that being said, I totally disagree with you about an 18-year-old and their capacity to be able to make the right decisions. Now, another thing you didn't take into consideration is what had happened and the timing that happened. All right. So, yeah, I sound angry because I was angry at the shit that was said. Elizabeth was angry at the shit that was said. Elizabeth wanted to tell her story because she was upset about what was said. But because she's only 18 years old, she's an idiot, she's dumb, she's retarded, she's all those things. But she's not a young lady that's capable of making her own decisions. So I want to make sure I got that right. You're a combat vet technique? I didn't know that. So her trauma doesn't compare to your trauma. All right. She shouldn't. And the whole reason she wanted to share that, not only was she angry about what was said by Jelly and by Mad Chad, all right, is because it was totally and completely vile, and it upset her, and I didn't want to see her upset like that. It made me mad as somebody that cares and loves her and was taking care of her. But no, that doesn't matter because, she's an idiot. She's dumb. Let me tell you something. That girl is far from dumb. She's actually quite brilliant. I dare to say she's smarter than you, in my opinion. But she's not allowed to retort. How many, TikTok and YouTube are totally inundated with young adults, not even just 18, but even younger. In fact, the vast majority of YouTube community if you want to look up the statistics, the vast majority are young adults between the ages of 15 and 25. You can look that up yourself. All right. That being said, those 18-year-olds that you say are dumb, that are idiots, that can't think, they are the future, and they are not stupid. Just because you are your age and I am my age, that don't make us better. We're just more experienced. We're wiser than them. Yes. They lack wisdom. That's fine. You can say that. But to claim that they shouldn't be up on a social platform, they are the reason we have social platforms. You need to understand that they are the reason there are social platforms. Now, mind you, I don't agree with a lot of social platforms and the things that go on. I hate the wokeness that's going on. But it's here, and we got to deal with it. You know, when this generation gets older and wiser, they'll see, and things will change. Just like with Gen X and Gen Z, the older they got, their views changed, wisdom kicks in. But because a person does not have a lot of wisdom or a lot of experience under their belt, does not make them inconsequential the way you are trying to impress. So that's my one rebuttal on your ageism. That's what that is. That's ageism. Let's move on to the next bullet point. All right. Next bullet point. At no point in time, you do me a favor, find a video where I'm defending TY's actions. TY was tried and convicted for a crime that he committed. I am not going to retry and reconvict someone for something they already did their time for. Was it reprehensible? Is it a reprehensible charge? Yes, it's a reprehensible charge. But that was from 20 years ago. Tell me who you know that's the same person from 20 years ago. I am not defending his actions. All right. Never said what he did was okay.
You know, I'll probably just want to see him like
Oh,
a picture.
thank
You
you.
want to see that?
No,
I don't know who done it, but
thank you. Yeah. Anyway, moving forward. Okay. Technique says, wait, why are you talking about 18-year-old, Jed? Well, because somebody else was talking about the 18-year-old, and they said that 18-year-old was stupid and that they shouldn't say anything because they're retarded, they're not fully functional, basically insulting the entire generation, in my honest opinion. So that's why I'm talking about an 18-year-old. I'm talking about my daughter. Have I got any sleep? I got some, about 4 or 5 hours. Anyway. I don't know if you know this, Madgie, but there are innocent people in jail right now. I am part of the Innocent Project community. All right? Get emails all the time. You know, I send out messages, I receive messages, but you might want to look up the Innocent Project. All right. There are so many innocent people in jail right now. And you know why they can't get out? Because the system worked against them. The system just works against, certain people. Am I saying that's what happened to TY? No, but it could have. I know this because the system worked against me in New York. Shit, a cop almost shot me just because they wanted to in New York. I got beat up by the police because they wanted to in New York. Yeah, granted, I was a badass kid, but still. That's not how that shit's supposed to go down. So, I'm not saying the man's innocent, but I am saying that he did his crime and he did his time. What right do we have to continue to persecute this guy when he did his time? Now, you don't have to like him. You don't have to go to his channel. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You could dislike him all you want. That's well within your rights. It's totally within your rights. But don't judge me because I'm not going to try and convict him twice. And you guys just live on that. And yes, Lacey knew about that. And yes, she did what she did to TY out of pettiness. She knew what his charges were way before she let that information out. Way before. She knew more about his charges than I did because I don't ask questions. Once he told me he did his time, I don't need to know anymore. Okay, he did his time. Again, that's one of those situations. If I get along with someone that you don't get along with, oh well, deal with it. But in no way, shape, or form did I fucking defend that action whatsoever. So, let me move on to something else. Your trauma, I don't wish that on nobody. I really don't. I don't wish that on anybody. But don't you dare put your trauma, above anyone else's, because that's all that Lacey does. She put her trauma. She talks about her trauma this, my daddy that, brain damage here. I had a brain injury there. You don't know how many times we've all heard that fucking story. And if you don't realize it right now, you will realize it. She's latching onto you because of your following. She's done it to a number of people. But that's okay. Time will tell. And to tell you the truth, I hate being right. But I've been right. But again, with your trauma situation, your trauma is no greater than Elizabeth's. In fact, I praise Elizabeth for sharing that with her because she wants people to know and let people be forewarned that trauma can come from anywhere. It can come from a family member. It can come from a friend. It can come from a stranger. It doesn't matter. Yet that girl was strong enough to share. And you're going to belittle her for that? And yes, you did belittle her for that. And me. How dare you have her up there? She's fucking 18 years old. She can represent herself. But because you think she's too young and her brain is not fully developed, but she can die for her country. She could die in defense of her country. She can vote. Her brain is not developed. She can't make an intelligent decision. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. I thought she did quite well. But you know who didn't do quite well? A 40-something-year-old woman going at an 18-year-old that 18-year-old put in her place. Yeah, drunk Irishman, that bitch is still around and she's still trying to make noise.
For a woman who said she was essayed to go around and you know, humiliate a younger girl who was essayed, it's kind of twisted. Isn't it?
That is kind of twisted, and you're gonna support that? My wife just made an excellent point. For a woman that was SA'd, they're gonna turn around and humiliate another girl that got SA'd. What kind of sense does that make? It is twisted. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Isn't that what you said last night? That is kind of twisted. If you ask me, and if you ask anybody else, that's kind of twisted. And you're guilty of it yourself. But mostly Jelly. She.
He said, is Jelly still around? She. Haven't seen her. She.
Oh shit! What's up, my brother? How you doing, Smithy? That is Smitty, right? And I hope I don't got that wrong. Alkaline. Smitty used to call me Alkaline all the time. Oh, it is okay. So this girl shared her trauma. Wanted to warn people what to look for with her trauma. And it was pretty bad. I was pretty disgusted with it. And you belittled her for it. Jelly belittled her for it. Because it's always about Jelly. You openly admit that Jelly does shit out of pettiness. But your stream last night was sort of skewed in her favor. Again, you're entitled to your opinion. I can't stop that. But again, I'm also going to rebuttal. What's up, guys? Fucking Star Wars, yeah. Can you leave the bear out of this just today? Just for today, leave the fucking bear out of it. Now, one thing that Jelly does all the time is she talks about her trauma. You know what? I've gone through trauma over this past year, and I'm going through trauma now, but I don't share it all with you guys. She shares every bit of, if she got a fucking hangnail, she'd make that into some sort of fucking trauma. My hangnail was worse than yours. And that's just the way it is. That's the way she is. But my wife is right. How could someone that was SA'd belittle and attack a younger person that's 18 years old, a younger person that was also SA'd when they were 10? And she's sharing that story. Again, hello, darkness, my old friend. Coming to talk to you again. Anyway. Um, another point I wanted to touch on, Madgie, is this. Is English not your first language? I'm assuming it's not, because you misinterpreted and or misunderstood a lot of words that were said on that video. Seriously. If you don't understand a thing or you're not sure of a thing, then I wouldn't comment on it. I do not comment on shit I don't understand. I'll ask a question. What does it mean? But there were several times last night that you couldn't understand, or you didn't understand, or you refused to understand what was being said. It just, that was just a bullet point I needed to make. Because, if English is not your second language and you can't understand, what's being said, then don't comment on it until you know exactly what's being said. Smitty, actually, you know about this. The last time we talked, you know about some of this stuff. You really do. But I have changed opinions about certain things because once people's real personality was brought to light, I had to have a change of heart. Give me a second, Smitty, because I just want to get all this out. Now, this was basically all my bullet points. I wasn't going to go over the whole video. I wasn't going to. I wanted my 5 bullet points just to make sure. I'm gonna let people up here if they want to come up and chit chat. If they have any questions, they're more than welcome to. Mom's new number. But give me a second. I'm going to answer that phone.
Wasn't flirting with no fucking half nigga fucking. You know that nigga's a cop. Electro G is a cop.
He had on the hat, and you was like, "Ooh, I love a man in the hat."
Electro G is a cop.
I don't give a fuck. You wanted him.
No. I was trying to befriend him because I wanted to find out if he was law enforcement, and now I know. He's using her fucking chat to get Jaguar right intel because he's a motherfucking federal informant and an agent. Why don't y'all understand that there's real law enforcement on this?
Sorry about that. I thought I'd give you something to listen to while I was talking to my mother. Anyway. And I'm going to throw the link up right now. This is listen. This is right. This person right here, Lighthouse. If you're not sub to him, please go ahead and subscribe to him. I had made a comment once. Jelly constantly brings it up. I had made a comment once that immediately after I said it, I felt bad about it. And this person right here, Lighthouse, his name is Smitty, brought it to light, brought it to my attention. Why did you say that? Why did you tell a black woman that you're blacker than her? We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I never said I was flawless, and I don't make the only entity that was on earth that was perfect was Christ Himself, and I ain't Christ, but neither are any of you. Jelly constantly brings that up. Jelly constantly brings that up. You told Melanie you were blacker than her. What about? But when I said it, why don't you ask Jelly this? When I said it, Jelly had no problem with it because I was defending Jelly. Again, one of those things. It's that situation. It's okay if you're with her, but if you're not with her, she uses it against you. Now, I've made the comment and I continue to make the comment. I don't hit women, and I don't. I have struck a woman one time and not hard enough to do any damage. Just hard enough to get her attention to not say the shit she was saying in front of somebody else's children. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Whether you agree with it or not, the point is it was done. It was one time. But Jelly, I shared this in confidence with Jelly. Again, she had no problem with it at the time because we were cool with each other. But the second that we fell out, that's a tool to use. I hope to God, Madgie, you never confide in that woman. I really don't want you. I don't want that to happen to you. Please do not confide in her. If you do, you'll find out. I'm going to throw. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know, man. I know. Let me go ahead and throw this link down. If you want to come up and talk, that's fine. You can. I'm not going to be on that long. I just wanted to get my bullet points out there. And Smitty, I haven't talked to Smitty in a hot second. In the society, I got what you're saying. That's not an excuse. It's about the optics of the internet. Hold on a second. Here we go. Wait, Smitty?
You can hear me, right?
Yeah. What's up, brother?
How you been, man? You been all right?
I'm surviving, man. I'm surviving.
I see. Well, I mean, you still kicking and ticking, so, I seen a couple of the posts when you was in a hospital and stuff, so and I've never had a chance to actually just let you know, hey, I did put some prayers out there for you.
I appreciate that, man.
What's all this beef about? So you saying the exact same thing?
No, I'm pointing out my flaws.
I'm confused because that just popped up on the screen and it threw me off. My bad. I didn't know if that was a pause for a minute. Okay. That threw me way off.
No, another person came up, so I just put in the screen blocker until I figured out. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
That's Vagoda.
Yeah.
I know who the fuck that is. Sorry, excuse my language. Shit.
Who's Vagoda?
Yeah, he just look.
It's my first time here, and you invited the people that watch you to join you, and
Vagoda, listen. I'm only gonna have people up here that I know. This is no slight on you, but I'm gonna talk to people I know. I'm gonna remove you, and you can come up when it's actually an open panel. Anyway, sorry about that.
No, you good. And I ain't gonna lie, that was an awesome move. Anyway, so I remember when me and you were talking, and you were speaking about how you was talking about how you did have that incident. You trying to tell me almost a year later, these people that you still got that going on?
Oh yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
And do you remember what I was saying to you? And I was like, look, when
No,
it
I
comes
do.
to
And you woke me up a lot. You. Do you remember my reaction when you talked? It's like,
no, no, I remember exactly because I told you, I said, look, me, I'm one of us that's gonna break it down to you and be polite about it. But once you out there with them wolves and them sharks, I can't, I can't stop black folks from how we gonna respond. Each individual person is gonna respond differently. That's the only thing I'm saying. But I don't know. My whole thing is this. How have you been responding to it? How have you been going about it? Are you like bumping, I'm a match energy? Or are you
no,
like,
actually, I'm going to tell you the person that I said it to. I repeatedly apologized to. Sincerely, I apologize. Who's bringing it up is a white girl. It's a white girl that keeps bringing it up. A white girl that thinks she's Indian, that thinks she's Native American. I got to put that up there. You
okay,
know? So, but
oh,
yeah, me and that person that I said it to, we're cool.
right.
We're cool. And she's, thank God she has forgiven me for saying that, you know,
Mhm,
and,
mhm.
and we're good. Now, it's still, and I still admit that was a bad thing to say. There's no excuse for it.
Right,
At the time I said it, it was, you know, it was a way I felt because of a situation, but that doesn't make it an excuse. That's still a vile thing to say, no matter what. And I had to acknowledge that. You helped me acknowledge that,
much respect.
you know?
Well, it was just about basically you got to remember just how even when you said that one thing you just said, I won't repeat it, but about you and physicalities on a woman. It's all in on see the internet. See, it's all about the optics. That's what it's about. It's about how does that look? And it's one of them things that it don't be. That's one of them things. No matter how you even try to cookie cut it or anything, it's just never gonna look good. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Yeah, when it comes to the internet. Now, see, the difference is in real life, we all know in real life circumstances where we can't actually be around people, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. And some people we talk like that amongst our close circle friends or whatever. That may be something we come from a community or neighborhood where we might be a little more used to that. But overall, when you talking about the internet, it's like, nah, alkaline, stay away from that. Stay away from that. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
most of the stuff that I've been doing lately has been prepper stuff and you know, like kind of like reviews and shit like that. Now the lives I've been doing, have been unfortunately focused on this, but it's only because if I don't respond, I feel as though things will slip by. And here's the thing, Smitty. I hate responding to this. I want it to die. I don't want to talk about
Mm,
this person anymore. I don't want to. I don't. I just don't want to no more. But the person won't stop. They go from platform to platform to platform, just just regurgitating the same shit.
yeah, you can't do nothing about that. I mean, like, listen now. See, oh gosh. All right. So the only thing that you could do is what a lot of us as content creators don't want to do to people is, I mean, you can hit them. That's bullying harassment right there easily. That's easily bullying harassment. But you may not want to take that route. But because I mean, only reason why I'm mentioning that is because that's the only thing I can think that you can do to actually get them to stop.
All right. Wait, all right. I
Other than that,
understand that.
you
I
one
understand
of
what
the
you're saying.
things. Yeah, yeah, but I'm just saying. Other than that, it seems like because I remember when you did that on my channel. That was about a year and some change ago now, and that's if it's still going on and it's still persisting, then you just got to make your mind up. You're gonna, take it, or you're gonna do the one only thing that you can do. And I'm not leading you in any direction. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, considering that's a grown ass adult somewhere else, you can't stop that person from saying what they want to say. They're going to say what they want to say. but
This is
you have something on your side that you can use. You know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of us won't be wanting to do that shit, bro. It feels like calling the police on people and shit. Like we be wanting to handle it ourselves. I totally get it.
yeah. See,
You know,
here's the thing, Smitty. Right? There's a handful of people on the internet that knows exactly what's going on because I tell them. I
right,
consider them friends. You know, I
right.
consider you a really good guy. The only thing is we haven't been in communication. I mean, and that's all good, right? But there's a couple in the chat that know me well,
Right.
and I have neither the time nor the inclination. All right, to
Mm-hmm.
pursue any legalities because I have too much on my plate. This seems to be the only way that I can deal with this. And for me, it seems to take a weight off. Now, I have lifted a weight. I no longer have hate. The hate is gone, but I'm not going to just stand by and let things happen and let it go and let people be influenced without hearing the other side.
That's and
Because
yeah,
that's what I saw happen last night at a certain. I saw there were things were skewed one way. Yet I heard somebody saying that an 18-year-old. I mean, this is what I heard. This is exactly what I heard. An
be careful.
18-year-old is not fully developed. An 18-year-old is an idiot. An 18-year-old is too stupid to be on the internet. But and also apparently that 18-year-old's trauma is not as important as somebody else's trauma. An
Wait a
older
minute. Wait a
woman's
minute. Let's slow it down a little bit though. Okay, so like to what context when we say an 18-year-old is not fully developed? That the only reason why I would think somebody would say an 18-year-old is not fully developed to be on the internet is because of sexual like nefarious reasons. Other
yeah.
than that, there are plenty of content that is done by
All right, let me give you
teenagers.
the context. Let me give you the context. The context is that 18-year-old was told. Actually, she was behind me on the couch. I didn't know she was there at that time because she was being very quiet. She knew I was live. And she
Right.
heard two people, a male and a female, say, well, she can go out and do adult movies and
Wait a
probably do adult movies with me. And this is a girl that I consider a daughter. She calls me dad. Not only did she share her trauma because she was traumatized when she was 10 years old, and she shared it because of what was said,
right.
and it hurt her. But she, because she's 18, is not developed, shouldn't say anything, shouldn't respond, but
Right.
she's old enough to join the military. She's old enough to vote. She's old enough to die for her country, but she's not old enough to defend herself on the internet? I don't think so. I do
Okay.
not think so.
Um, I am very lost right now. I heard what you
I
just
can
said.
imagine so. I can imagine.
I am so lost right now. Okay, hold on. So I heard what you said. I'm still trying to figure this out.
It's a
What
lot to absorb.
what did so someone on your show said something about her? Is that do I
No,
have
no.
that correct?
We were on a panel.
Right.
Right? We were on a panel. Um, and two people that
Mm-hmm.
dislike me for their reasons. They have the right to dislike me. All right.
Right.
People on this panel said this while the girl was behind me. Now, I take blame for that because I should have been aware of my surroundings, but I didn't know she was there. And then when she heard it, I heard her reaction, and it really, really hurt her. But these people didn't care. They doubled down. Both of them doubled down, and they kept repeating it later on in the week, later on in the year. They just kept on. So that being said, like a week or two later, that girl got up and talked about her trauma and let people know how this affected her. And she is being mocked because she's 18 and talking about her trauma. How is her trauma not as valid as another woman's trauma that's in her 30s or another woman's trauma that's in their 40s? How is that not still valid?
Well,
I personally think it's brave for her to share.
yeah, but you gotta, even from how my circumstance, I shared my story. I shared my story about my accident. You know about that, correct?
Yeah.
And oh man, I've had all kinds of people be like, "You stupid! How did you let that happen to you?" Then I'm like, "Yo, I share that story so that you guys can get some strength from that." So mark my words when I tell you, nothing's off limits. Not your family, not your kids, not your dead mama or pops or grandma who you love dearly so much and know how significant they are. That don't mean nothing. When people want to get at you on the internet, that's how people attack. Unfortunately, that's how people fight on the internet, is the whole I'm gonna talk cash shit about everybody you know and love, or I'm gonna dox you. But I digress. My mic is muted.
Yeah, I mean, my the easiest one to go for is the
family.
PDF. The pedophile thing. People throw that around like it's like it's jujubes. Remember jujubes back in the day?
Yes, they get stuck in your teeth.
yeah. They throw them. They throw that fucking that statement around like jujubes. That's the only way I can describe it. What's up, Ingrid? How you doing, babe? Good to see you, RC. It's good to see you, Stormy. Those people that I didn't acknowledge coming in, I appreciate you guys coming in, and I hope that I'm not boring you guys. And this is Smitty. Smitty, if you can, drop your link in the chat and share your link. And guys, please subscribe to Smitty, because Smitty,
I really appreciate
a lot of panels, and I have gone to so many different panels and met a lot of people, and I'm in a lot of different communities because of this man right here. And I've met a bunch of smart, a bunch of intelligent, strong women because of this guy. So please, Smitty, drop your link.
Mm-hmm. I got to figure out how to do it. But for those who, you can just type in Smitty's Corner .77, or you can just type in Lighthouse _301. Just _301 after Lighthouse. You should see me pop up.
Yeah, good guy. This is a really good guy, and him and I have had plenty of conversations, intelligent conversations, no damn drama conversations.
That's why I had to come up, because it sounds like I'm like, oh man, you going through something again. I'm like, man, let me make sure this dude okay. Just make sure he all right real quick, But it seems
I appreciate that, Smitty. I really do, man. That means a lot to me. I'm conversating with somebody. And we're talking like adults. Now, I hope that when I started this stream up, I hope I didn't sound like I came off angry or sounded like a degenerate at any time. I wanted to come up and do this rebuttal and be even keeled about it. And I think I was pretty even keeled, but I definitely put some emphasis on some of the points that I had to make.
But look, anything I want to tell you though, real quick, what you got to watch out for, because you did it like once or twice, is it might fly under the radar, whatever. Like I said, I ain't gonna repeat certain stuff. It's not about how you sound. It's about how much. Sometimes you go into too much detail just to try to get your point across to us, and I've done that myself before at times. So I'm just kind of looking at it like, I see.
I overshare.
You overshare, bruh, and then it's like, damn, you didn't have to say that part. Trust me, we get the gist.
I am guilty, totally guilty. But see, that's the thing about me, because I feel as though I'm an open book, and I have nothing to hide. All my videos are up. These people grab my videos to use against me. You're using my video. I put it out there. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I want people to see my faults and I want people to see my growth. And the only way for people to see that is that if you put it out there. But you are correct, Smitty. I am guilty of oversharing. And there's plenty of times I caught myself, and Star Wars Dad has reminded me a few times. Let's see, who else is in here? Stormy. Yeah, Stormy and I are the same on certain, because we both overshare sometimes.
I get you.
But you're right. And I need to curb that some.
What it is, Alkaline, is it's about discretion and balance. The fact is that we've seen time and time again, the internet, like the more real you are, you're gonna hit the note with a few people, but majority of the people, you're just gonna be a spectacle. That's all. You're just gonna make you a spectacle. You're gonna be court gesture to them. You're gonna be what we call the bid. You see what I'm saying? And so then you get a whole bunch of people that start rallying, following behind you. But little do you know, out of maybe, let's say, 500 of those people, maybe only about 20 of them, that's it, actually really get your story and really, really rock with you. Everybody else is just waiting to hear a crash out moment, because you sound like you're about to crash out at any moment. Not right now. I'm just saying, like, in general.
Right.
That's why.
And you're right. You're absolutely right there.
Be careful with what you share, or if you do, like, sometimes, look, if you sharing something about yourself, man, just make it a story. Be like, you know what, y'all, I heard a story whole time. It is something that you went through, but don't make it about you, because you just know how people are. It's a way that you got to kind of finesse and word it. You don't be too raw, too open, because when you are open book, that's when people going to start trying to rip out your pages.
Yeah. But here's the thing about me, Smitty. You said out of 520, right? Out of 500, 20 might listen to you.
Right. I mean, no, Mike.
Like not to those 20.
No. Mike, click with you and have your best interest, that like they really do care for you.
Right. I get that. And those 20, I'll appreciate. The other 580, the other 480, with a grain of salt. But if the message gets out and people, they at least have an understanding, then I feel that I've accomplished something. Now, does it hurt? Oh, Smitty, it does. I've come to you fucking hurt.
Of course.
Does it hurt? Yeah, it fucking hurts. I don't like people. I know the type of person I am. I'm proud of the person I am.
Right.
And it hurts me for people to say the stuff they say. But
it means you have a conscience, and that's something I believe is what keeps us human. Like you have a conscience, and so you are the type of person, if you do something wrong, even if you have a blackout, you're going to come to a point where you're going to actually look at yourself, and I think that's very much so maturity.
Yeah, yes. I appreciate you saying that. John, Star Wars Dad, if you hear me say John, I'm talking to Star Wars Dad. And this is one of the few guys that I know that can turn off the internet. Just completely turn it off, right? And not give two fucks. I really need to get like him. I don't know why I can't, because I'm so involved and I get so invested, but I really wish I could be more like John and just turn that shit off and not ever fucking worry about it.
No, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Nah, I'm gonna tell you what it is. There's still some kind of void within yourself in your real life when you click up off of here. When you hit that red X, it's a void. And so when you keep coming back, I think you're trying to find and figure out what that void is through the source of the internet, which would be
what? That actually makes sense. That really does. That makes a lot of sense. And with me, with all the things I got going on, this is supposed to be my escape. This is supposed to be my escape. If I shared everything, people would be like, damn. But I'm not here to have people feel sorry for me. I'm not here to get sympathy. That's not what I'm here for. If I want anything for anyone, I would rather people help less fortunate people, help homeless. That I'd advocate for. I'd put a whole stream for help the homeless and help those less fortunate. Me though, no, I'm not going to share that much. I do share too much though, Smitty. I got to admit, you're right. I do share too much, and I think I need to start. What's up, Shanta? How you doing, sweetheart?
What you need to do is figure out another way to go ahead and get off what you're trying to get off your chest. You need to look. I see you definitely got a lot of guns. Go hit the range or something. Like for real. Like I'm putting fast up. Like do something like before.
You're right. I haven't even had time to go to the range. That's pissing me off.
You've had ample amount of time to go to the range because you get the same 24 every day the sun rises. It's just a simple fact you've chosen to use that 24 hours.
To be out here.
There you go. That's it, man. That's it. So just so I would say sometimes, depending on what it is, some things. Now I'm not saying holding everything now, but sometimes just think to yourself before you click that blue button and go live. Say to yourself, what else could I do right now and not go ahead and put my business more further out there? Because the only thing people are waiting to do is weaponize it against you. People quietly sit back and they just waiting for that day for you and them to go at it online, and they going everything that you shared from your heart from a righteous and genuine place within you, they're gonna use that shit against you. That's why. That's the main reason why. Because the only thing is, the more we share our stories and our lives on here, the more you give the other opponents bullets. And sometimes you don't even know who your opponent is, and you be wondering why somebody just busts out of nowhere and just started talking real crazy to you. Like, hold on, where this come from? Man, they've been waiting for that moment. Unfortunately, that's how a lot of this goes. So, the way the way we operate on the internet has to be much different than how we do in real life. And I always say it like you got to really look at it from the perspective of most of us don't know how to turn on and off our reality and internet switch. You can't be exactly who Alkaline is in the real world here. You got to have a whole different switch. You got to have a different switch where you still yourself, but it's I'm gonna be real with you. It's somewhat of a mask of yourself. Because it's not a lot you want to reveal. You see the results. The results never turn out to be good. It always winds up being why is such and such talking about me? I see people 24/7 online, and I don't care which space it is, whether it's the one I'm in, you in, whoever else. I always wound up seeing, man, people talking about each other on back discords and everything else. Well, honestly, I think that's because people sit around and they play telephone. I don't got time to sit around and play telephone.
God, yes. But let me explain something. Let me explain something to everybody real quick, guys. You'll hear Smitty say Alkaline. My name on here is Electro Jet. He took that and made it Alkaline because like a battery. So if you hear him call me Alkaline, that's why. So and I took it, and I love the fact that he calls me that. So
shout out
Alkaline. That's why.
That's just I do that. Look, if I'm cool with you, I mean, everybody gets a little nickname with me. That means that I actually rocks with you. If I never joke with you, if I never do anything like that, and I'm real formal about everything, that means I don't really like you. That's literally how you know I don't like you. If I'm too formal all the time.
And trust me, I thought it was funny when you said Alkaline. Wait, who the fuck is he talking to? He said Alkaline. I'm talking to you, Alkaline.
Nah, man.
First time I've been on your panel.
I just be wanting you, man. Make sure you know what I'm saying. You keep your head right when you're doing this, because it's a lot. I'm telling you, man. Like, it's gonna always be way more people that want to see you crash out and tear down than it is want to see you rise up and actually do something with yourself. So you need to make sure it's on those people. Make sure you really give those people big ups and always appreciate them. because it's a
And
lot.
I think I do. I think I do. I don't. I'm not sure if I do. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll let me know if
Hey,
you feel like I'm ignoring them. But my thing is this, Smitty, so you understand. I
yeah,
try to be the person that I am in real life on here. When I communicate with people and I talk with people and I jump up on a panel, I am who you're talking to is who I am. There is absolutely no difference from the person you're talking to than the person that you would meet. I am not disrespectful when I first meet somebody, and I try my hardest. I really do to be able to get along with as many people. Now you can't be friends with everybody. Trust me, I know you can't. But just like I would meet a stranger and I would show a stranger a certain decorum, a certain amount of respect, even though I don't know them, there is still some sort of decorum you have to have, some sort of communication you have to have where it doesn't end up right away being confrontational. Because in life, in real life, you're not going to want to be confrontational all the time because that could end up getting you really hurt. You know, I'm not the tough guy I used to be. When I was younger, yeah, I was a tough guy. Now I'm too old and too fat to run, and I'm too old and too fat to be fighting.
that's the main thing, and that's the main. Now, go ahead. You finish. You finish.
So that's what I try to, that's what I try to put forward. Is the person you're talking to right now is the person that you would be talking to if we were face to face. A lot of people on the internet are not that way. They are completely different personality.
But look at it in this perspective. Look at it like, okay, Alkaline, when you were born, what did you have on when you came into this world? You were born how?
I was bucket at naked.
Okay, so if I invite you to my cookout, don't your bald head ass show up naked? I'm calling the authorities. I am. I'm just going to go in the house and I'm going to call the police and have you escorted off the property. My point is that I would want you to dress. See, look at it like that. See, when you come to the internet, you come how you was born. You come butterball naked. Don't do that. That's what I mean by the discretion as far as look at it like all you did was, put some clothes on, make yourself decent before you step out. That's all.
Look at it. That's a really good analogy, Smitty. That's a fucking good analogy.
Respect to you.
No, much respect to you. That is a really excellent piece of advice there. I mean, I guess that can be done without hiding who you really are, but you do not like we discussed earlier.
Just because you're fully dressed doesn't mean you're not yourself. Just because you're fully dressed, that don't mean you're not yourself. You can be fully dressed and I still know who Alkaline is. Whatever it is we're talking about, I got you. I just don't want to talk to you while you naked, nigga. Some things leave at home. Some things leave in the car. Some things leave out of. You see what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why it's called discretion. It's not called being deceitful. It's called having decorum and discretion. And that's something you must have if you're going to navigate yourself through this internet world, this cyber world. You gotta have that, and you gotta know how to have that balance. All it is, you just haven't found your equilibrium within it yet. And so you're going
it's kind of like job interview. It's kind of like a job interview, what you're saying, because I'm an old school guy, and whenever you go for a job interview, it's called putting your job on. You put your best clothes and you throw a tie on. I always call putting on a tie is put your job on.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that, but I like your analogy much better. Trust me, I really did like but it's a similar situation. I'm not thinking that the internet's an interview. I'm not trying to make money off the interview, but it's very similar, and I really liked yours better than I like mine now that I'm listening to it. And I'm going to take to heart what you said. The way you put it is excellent, and I might even throw that on my page somewhere. I'm not even joking.
Respect to you. Respect to you. So now I just wanted to make sure you was good. I think you got it from here and everything. I just wanted to come up and check in with you and stuff real quick. All right. So I'm gonna let you
I
get
appreciate it.
so yeah, man, you know what it is. All right. I digress.
And
Don't make
again, everybody subscribe to Smitty.
all right.
When he writes in the chat, just click on his name, go to that channel, subscribe. I'm telling you, he's a his conversations and the panels he goes on, they are memorable, they are intelligent, they are eye
Also
opening.
being fun too. There also is also some good clown and there's also some great humor there. But you know, I like to be balanced. So you go to my channel, it's gonna be a nice, good, fair share of a little bit of everything. You're gonna get a good feel of whatever you into, you can find it there. I can promise you that. And you got thousands amongst thousands of videos to look through to find whatever it is you like to find. So it's more than enough content there for you, whatever you might like. But I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna get up out of here. All right. I digress. My mic muted. Shout out Alkaline.
Shout out to you. Shout out to Smitty, guys. Yeah, good guy, really good guy. Go to his channel, hear his story, hear his talk. Really, I mean, you go there, you're gonna remember what they talk about for a long time. Anyway, I think I basically covered what I want to cover. I want to make sure, Madgie, if you're watching this, I am not mad at your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. Am I going to besmirch you because of it? No, I'm not going to do that. But again, I'm going to say you don't have all the information you need to have, and I don't think that you're considering timing within your view. Like when things were said and the emotions that were displayed. And Smitty got it right. Maybe I shared and I displayed too much emotion and people thought that was a crash out or something like that. It wasn't, but I can understand that people thought it was. I am a person that likes to get his point across clear. And I try to be as erudite as possible. I don't always come off that way, but I try. I'm not trying to fight with everybody. I'm not trying to get into an argument with everybody because I find that detrimental. But again, I don't think you're taking into consideration timing, all the sides, and I really think that you are somewhat of an ageist. If you don't know what I mean, if you don't understand what that is that you are very inclined to not think much of the younger generation. They are our future. They matter. What they think matters. How they feel matter. What they go through matters. And if they have something to say about it, it matters. They're not stupid. They're not dumb. They're not idiots for it. There's a saying, the only dumb question is the question you don't ask. And that's true. All right? If you don't ask a question, or if you don't investigate fully, then I would refrain from making an opinion on that. Like, I was asked to have an opinion about hold on a second, now I'm forgetting names. Jaguar Wright. Do you know to this day I have not formed an opinion on Jaguar Wright? Now here's the thing. One day I was angry and I took my day off on Jaguar Wright. And that's another thing. You don't know what a person's gone through in any particular day. Someone could have lost a brother. Someone could have, stubbed their toe and they took their day out on you. All right. Shit like that happens. And sometimes you have to give a little leeway. All right. That being said, I try to think that's how I react to people. But without everything, without all the information, I can't make a judgment, nor would I. I'm not going to make a snap judgment. Yeah, baby. Hey, Tempe, how you doing, baby? Tempe, the pretty girl. My pretty. Oh, okay. What's that, Tempe? Anyway, sorry. My dog wanted some attention. But to this day, I have not put my opinion out on Jaguar Wright. And that subject has been out for a couple of years. Like I said, I went off on Jaguar Wright once because if you heard the beginning of the song, she called me a cop. So because she called me a cop, I just went off on her and everything like that. And then I went on an apology tour, right? I went on not for what I said to her, because I didn't say anything that was out of line. It's the way I said it and the reason I said it that I apologized. Because I shouldn't have taken my day off on her. But as far as my opinion on her, I have not come up with an opinion because I still don't have all the information. But you know how many channels there are out there that tag Jaguar Wright because it's a hot topic. If you notice, I don't put her name or anyone else's name up unless I want someone to get this stream. Like I tagged Madgie on this stream. That's the only tag I put on it because I thought it was important for her to hear that. But again, Madgie, I have no malice towards you. I have no ill will towards you. I just disagree respectfully with you with the opinion you put out there, and I just think it's because you have a lack of information, and I think that you're not taking into consideration timing. That being said, I'm going to shut it down now. I think I've said enough. I've hit my bullet points. I had Smitty up here. It was a good conversation with Smitty. He opened my eyes to a few things, and I'm going to take some of his advice because it was sound. I'm glad he came up here. I appreciate all you guys coming out. Lighthouse, RC, Stormy, Star Wars. John, you know I always appreciate you coming out here. I got to show some love to Drunk Irishman, Carlos. Soroya, thank you for coming by, sweetheart. Always love to see you here. Let's see who else. Oh, Canes, thank you for stopping by. Ingrid, I love you, baby. Thank you for coming in and listening to my BS. Again, Shanta, how you doing? I hope I didn't bore you guys. I hope that I made my point. If I wasn't clear, I apologize. But this is I try to show how I feel about certain things. And no one tell me, no one. Again, I'm not Batman. I don't have a fucking ward. Elizabeth is my daughter. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Do me a favor, Madgie, don't call her my ward. All right? I would appreciate if you do that. That's my daughter. Yeah.
I just want to say, just because, a family isn't like your cookie cutter, fucking cute little house with a doggy and, all the kids are yours, just because it's not like a perfect little family, every family is different. And that's what makes it work for, just, I can't speak.
That's okay. Okay.
I'm trying.
I think you got your point. Not all families are the same.
Not all families are the fucking same.
But that doesn't take away the fact that there's love there.
Exactly.
The love is there. The intention is there of love and the continuity of love and the display and the adoration and the admiration for an individual. Okay. So again, Madgie, do not call her my ward. I'm not Batman. I'm not Batman. So, so uh,
I saw
that
all
is
the
that
dogs.
that is my daughter, just like my other daughter. All right, just like the children that I raised with my first wife. Those are my kids. I raised them. I loved them. They loved me, and it's that simple. I know Jelly wants to turn it into something else, but I don't care what Jelly wants.
How about she focus on her own family?
Yeah, she should focus more on her own family, but I'm not gonna judge her. She can parent the way she wants. It's not my job to tell her how to parent.
I'm not talking about her being a parent. I'm talking about focusing on her own family rather than everybody else's.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Oh, good point. Yeah, yeah, that. Yeah, what she said. Stormy, if you're going live, I'll probably stop by. And again, I hope I didn't bore you guys. God bless you. And if you get the opportunity, please try to help someone less fortunate than you. It really means a lot. I mean, it doesn't have to be monetary. Sometimes it can be they need an ear to listen to them. They need a shoulder to cry on. They might need a hug. I know a few people that probably could use some hugs. Oh, what, baby?
Oh, there was boxing later on.
Oh, we got boxing. Who?
But it's on pay-per-view and it's $69.99.
Oh,
That's why I was thinking.
yeah, no, we can't afford that right now. I miss
Okay,
watching
pay-per-view.
boxing, but my boxing my boxing limit has been reached already as far as monetarily. And that's something else. I will start to, doing my boxing reviews and stuff like that again. I have with all the things that have been going on, I haven't had time, but I will be making time to start doing my boxing reviews. And Black and Brown, I saw you live. I hung out, but I had nothing to say, so I didn't go up on the panel. But my brother, you got much love from this side, and I'm glad you're still around talking boxing. I will come back and I'll jump up on that panel when I have a review or I have an opinion on some boxing matters. I miss it. I miss you guys. Yeah, I might have. I know I said that a lot of the boxing community is like a knitting circle and they're worse than the women, but it doesn't mean I don't miss you guys, and I do. I will come back to doing boxing again. Anyway, all that being said, much love and God bless. I'll talk to you guys another time. Peace out, everybody.
Why is it a try?